Okay, today we're going to learn about the state of Texas. The motto of Texas is friendship. The song is Texas, Our Texas. The nickname of the state is the Lone Star State. And the name of the residents, or the people who live there, are called Texans. All right, the state capital and other major cities. The capital is Austin. Houston is a major city in Texas. Dallas is also a major city in Texas. And then we have San Antonio, the home of the Alamo. Here we have the state flag of Texas, the seal of Texas, and the back of the state quarter. Next, the state flower and bird. The bluebonnet is named for its color, and it is said the resemblance of its petal to a woman's bonnet. So it's said that each of these petals to the flower looks like a woman's hat back in the old days, like the pioneers. And a mockingbird, mockingbirds mimic other sounds. That means that they try to sound like other animals or other machinery or other things. They add to their repertoire throughout the courses of their lives. They can meow like a cat, bark like a dog, and even produce machinery sounds. Each imitation is repeated a few times in quick sequence. So throughout its life, it gets more sounds, and it makes them really quickly. So I've heard one in our backyard that sounds like a frog, and it just keeps doing ribbit, 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 and it does it really fast. So that is the mockingbird, the Texas state bird. Here we have the state tree, and the state tree is the pecan tree. We use pecans a lot around Thanksgiving in pecan pies. Some people make pralines with pecans. They're a sweet treat with butter and brown sugar, and they're crusted around the pecan nuts. But the state tree of Texas is the pecan tree. The state mammals of Texas. Texas has a lot of mammals. They have the longhorn, and I would say that's probably the most famous mammal, most famous symbol of Texas because of Austin, the University of Texas at Austin. There's the armadillo. These guys have a nice protective layer on the outside of them that when they get scared, they can roll up in a ball and a predator cannot get them. So that's a really special adaptation. And then there's the free-tailed bat. A lot of people think these are birds, but they're not. Just because they fly doesn't make them birds. These guys are actually a flying mammal. When I moved to Texas, I was so surprised to find out that they had a state insect. But what I was really excited about was that it was the monarch butterfly. I've always thought that these butterflies were so pretty. My mom, who taught kindergarten, used to get some, and their chrysalis, they were bright teal with gold beads on the top, and they were just so beautiful. And I remember releasing them when I was in kindergarten. But something that's really amazing about them. These guys, if you go to this website at certain times of the year when they're migrating, you can watch them. And every year, all the monarchs in North America, they go to the same valley, the same place in Mexico when they migrate because it's warmer down there. So if you ever are interested, you should go to that website, monarchwatch.org, and check them out. Texas also has a state reptile, and the state reptile is the Texas horned lizard. It is the mascot of TCU, which is Texas Christian University, except for they call them the horned frogs. So, this is not a frog, it is a lizard. Maybe a research question for you, and if you find the answer, I would love to know. Why does TCU call their mascot the Texas horned frog instead of the Texas horned lizard? Next up in Texas symbols, we have the state fish, which is the Guadalupe bass. And the Guadalupe bass, you definitely, if you ever go fishing and catch one, you do not want to touch the spikes up on top because they hurt. And all bass have those spikes. I've gone fishing for largemouth bass and smallmouth bass, but I've never caught a Guadalupe bass. But if you do, watch out for those spikes. Texas also has a plant, the prickly pear cactus, and a fruit, the Texas red grapefruit, that are symbols. When I was in South America, I had the prickly pear fruit. In Spanish, it's called a tuna. And they were so sweet in South America. They were all red or orange, but here I've bought them in the supermarkets and they're green. And they don't have a lot of flavor, but if you ever find a red one, those are the good ones. They have big seeds in them, but it's good to eat the seeds. It's good fiber. And then Texas red grapefruit, they're a little bit sweet, but they're mostly sour. I think that they're delicious. And grapefruit juice is also very good for you. So if you ever get a grapefruit, you only want to eat the red part in the middle. You don't want to eat any of the white part because that's really, really bitter and it doesn't taste very good. Okay, as you can see from this map, Texas has a lot of rivers, but it has 3 main rivers. In the south, we have the Rio Grande, which is the border between us and Mexico. El Paso is right here, and the river is what separates us from Ciudad Juarez. Then, in sort of the center of Texas, we have the Brazos River. And then to the north, the northern border, we have the Red River. And all of these rivers, you can see that they all end up down here, which is the Gulf of Mexico. Texas has 1, 2, 3, 4 states that border it. Number 1, we have New Mexico, and when we are in El Paso, we don't have to drive very far, and then boom, we get to New Mexico. Up to the north of Texas, number 2 is the state of Oklahoma. Then in the northeastern corner, right here, number 3 is Arkansas. And then number 4, in the eastern border of Texas, is Louisiana, and it's shaped like a boot. It's sort of hard to see Texas here, but the bordering country, there we go, the bordering country and the bordering body of water of Texas is what this slide's all about. And here I'm just drawing the shape of Texas so you guys can see it better. But the bordering country of Texas is Mexico. Okay, down here it says Mexico. Here is Ciudad Juarez. And El Paso's just on the other side of that red line. And then the bordering major body of water is the Gulf of Mexico.